Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports. When
It comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men, we will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
Coach Elko's my guy, right? Like, I love him. I love Michael Early. Like, I think Bucky's going to be incredible.
It's football, man. And that's what Warriors do, and they don't want to sit out.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
So I guess this is the kind of territory A&M is in, where people just want to poke holes. The loudest guys are the hole pokers.
Okay.
Pardon. So A&M takes care of business against, why are you making that face? They take care of business against all three SEC.
I'm intrigued to know who the hole pokers are.
All right. Well, there's more than I thought. Okay.
Okay.
So I posted the stat of what A&M has done on third down, that tweet did pretty well, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I'm a huge tweeter. I mean, I just tweet all the time. I just tweet what I eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, bathroom breaks, you name it. I'm always tweeting. Tweet this out there, and I got several responses about A&M's schedule. And the garbage teams that A&M has done this against.
Garbage teams.
Yeah. So here's a guy, BPR Lat SD, who's got a lot of pictures in a Speedo, which is weird. Grown man, 50 plus. Tonight, Florida was 1 of 10. Mississippi State was 1 of 10. Auburn was 0 for 13. Garbage teams. I heard a lot. And by the way, this is actually a compliment for where maybe A&M is. Because typically we're getting those kind of tweets when A&M sucks or is, the no in November. Now we're getting it at 6-0. So that's progress, I guess, for Texas A&M.
I would just say that Florida did, have 29 points and move the ball really well against Texas. And you can say, well, Texas sucks too. Okay. But
LSU,
Mississippi State had scored 41 or,
35 against Tennessee, right?
Put Tennessee in overtime.
Yep.
So they can't suck that much.
Well, it's interesting that now because people are now saying, look at A&M's schedule.
Yeah.
Cakewalk. Oh, it's a cakewalk. Okay. I mean, first off, I'm not going to apologize for the schedule being a little bit more manageable than when you've got Texas, LSU, Notre Dame on your schedule, and a damn good Missouri team, and a Florida team that if you gave them a regular schedule would be in the top 25 right now.
Yeah, I don't think A&M needs to apologize for the schedule at all. Like I said, Mississippi State beat Arizona State. That was a leading contender for the Big 12. Now, did their quarterback play? They lost this week to Utah. And I know, I didn't look, but I know Levitt was supposedly questionable.
Okay.
Maybe he played. But anyway, I mean, it's Mississippi State has, like I said, they had beaten Arizona State, taken Tennessee into overtime. Yeah, I'm not going to apologize for that.
Yeah, I'm not going to apologize for anything, right? Yeah. Like, you play the games in front of you. Last year, when Texas had, I think, a cakewalk of a schedule, I would have gladly taken it. It's still a talking point in how are they going to do against really good teams.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, go out and beat Arkansas.
Yeah, and that's not a gimme. Sorry, it's not.
Well, yeah, I've said before. First of all, this game's in Fayetteville, so that makes it the degree of difficulty a little higher. But I saw that Arkansas team that lost to North Texas and Western Kentucky play great. And if you want to look at if you ever want a definition of a quote Caesar salad. Caesar
salad's pretty good.
I'm sure you would know.
Yeah.
Without the
I hold
dressing.
a little bit of the Caesar, yeah.
But if you of a season saver, this is it.
Yeah.
This is the game for Arkansas that can be the season saver.
If Florida's in the Big 12, are they leading the Big 12? They're up there with Texas Tech, right?
I mean, I don't know if they would have beat Texas Tech.
No, I'm saying they're up there.
But I think they would be competitive.
Okay. ACC?
Yeah, they probably lose. They've already lost to Miami, but they'd probably be at the very least, fourth and fifth around there.
I think their biggest problem is their head coach, who seems
I think there's a lot of folks in Florida that feel that way.
Who makes some questionable decisions. Seems like a very nice, likable guy, and his team plays hard for him, but not the best.
You're talking about Sunbelt Billy.
Sunbelt Billy. But regardless, what A&M did in this game against the Gators was what they've done so well this year, is they put that chokehold in the fourth quarter, and they just keep applying pressure, and they tap you the bleep out.
Yeah, but you know what?
No.
I wish they would just come out and deliver the knockout punches early. And I thought they were going to. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns.
Feeling good.
And then Le'Veon.
And then Le'Veon goes down. Yeah. We have no word on Le'Veon's status at the moment. I'm going to be optimistic until I'm told I'm not allowed to be. And we'll hear from Coach Oko later on today. Hopefully it's a day-to-day thing. I have no clue.
Is it just me, or did anybody else think the offense changed when Le'Veon went out? No,
it's the offense changed when Le'Veon went out. I mean, that's exactly the point where A&M started punting the ball quite a bit.
Yeah, and it was at the end of a 7-yard run on the first play after his. It was the first play he ran after. It was his first run after the 22-yard touchdown run.
But we knew this game was going to be tight entering the fourth quarter, right? That was kind of the vibe. Most SEC games feel that way.
Most of them do. I thought that they were in a position that I thought this was going to be the game that they flexed offensively and defensively at the same time. And to a certain degree, it was.
I mean, they won by 17 against a team and they scored 34 points against a team that had given up the most, 27 on the year.
But it was still a game. Yeah, they won by 17, but it was a game in the fourth quarter, and I didn't think it would be. I thought that the way they were moving the ball, that this was going to be a game that you've been waiting for. We'd say, look, they leaned on their offense to beat Florida.
Yeah.
To beat Notre Dame. And then the defense stepped up big and against Auburn and all that. And this was the game that, because Florida had those 2 impressive drives, and then after that it was nothing, pretty much. You know. And I'm thinking, okay, they've got that under control, and the offense is about to blow them out of the water. And then, they didn't.
Yeah, and credit to Florida's defense making adjustments, too. I know Le'Veon going down was a big part of that, but they made some adjustments. And then A&M's three of their 4 best offensive players all were dinged up. Mm-hmm. KC in and out of the game. Mario in and out of the game. Le'Veon out of the game. If I were to tell you that beforehand, if I say, hey, you're only going to get Le'Veon for 5 carries, you're going to see Mario in and out of the lineup, and you're going to see KC in and out of the lineup, you would worry about that game.
I would.
Against any SEC team, right?
I would. And that's why I said, as soon as he came out of that's why I'm saying that I thought, because I didn't know you were going to have all this, I thought as that game was going that they were about to just, this one, the starters are going to be with their shoulder pads off in the fourth quarter, eating popcorn.
God, that'd be great. I haven't seen a player do that in a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So complementary football is what I think this game was about, though, because the offense complemented with the defense. So the defense struggled early. So what did the offense do? 2 plays, touchdown.
Yeah. Wasn't that beautiful?
Right? Score. And then what happened when they couldn't score?
No, the defense had shut them down.
Stop. Best player I think we'll agree on this. Who was the best player for Florida Saturday?
The best player.
I don't even know his name, the punter.
He was good.
That guy was really
number 19.
Good. He was good. Holy smokes, he was good.
He was, but
and maybe
except for one play,
and that was Coach Olin Buchanan sitting next to me.
Well, Mike Elko, very smart man, because he agreed with me, not knowing that he was agreeing with me.
So we're sitting in there after that.
Yeah, like a 66-yard punt.
Yeah,
and they had a face mask, I think it was.
Correct.
Or maybe blocking out of bounds, but they had a 15-yard penalty.
Yep. And instead of just take it from...
Because the official announces says we're going to stack on 15 yards at the end of the play.
Yeah.
which would have given the A&M the ball around, let's say, 35, of their own 35. And I just said, if I'm Elko, no, I'm raising hell. I'm saying, no, I'm declining. I don't want that. I want you to take it off the punter and make them punt again.
Repunt.
And then I think he kind of shanked it.
He did. A&M
Well,
gets in midfield.
it was about 36-yard punt. And so A&M takes over, I think, on their side of the ball. Anyway, it's about a 25 to 30-yard net gain in field position for Mike Elko. Another example why he's a damn football coach.
He's a great coach. And
you can't have him.
Unfortunately, on that drive, I believe that's the drive that Marcel throws the interception in the end zone. There were some points to be had that A&M was not able to capitalize on that in the second half. There was the missed field goal early. There was that. There was, in my opinion, after you force the fumble, after Damian Sanford forces the fumble, you should have gotten 7, not 3. Yeah.
In fact, the last 13 points after they went up, 21, and so the 134, 2 of them were field goals after fumbles put you inside the 30.
Yep.
And then the other one was a touchdown drive, huge, after you stopped them.
On
they went for
4th
fourth
and 6.
down, and you stop them at midfield.
Yep. How about this rush defense again, though? Limiting the Gators to 74 rushing yards on 24 carries. That is now 3 straight SEC opponents with fewer than 77 yards rushing on this A&M defense. And I think it was my brother who was like, yeah, the defense is good, but like it ain't like wrecking crew. I was like, bro, what? I think it was my brother. I was like, this is a different era of college football. Yeah. And in any era of college football, you hold a team to 3 straight games under 100 yards, yet 77. That's wrecking crew-esque, absolutely.
Yeah, great defense is defined a little bit different than it was back in the day. And you, first of all, just hold an opponent under 20 points, and which they did again. By the way, that Florida running game had 159 yards of rushing yards against Texas the week before. So you cut that in half, more than cut that in half. Yeah, they were. They are stellar ever since, and we've talked about this over and over, but we can say it again. Ever since the first play of the second half against UTSA, since that moment is over, ever since then, the run defense has been spectacular. Yeah, Notre Dame had some success. Notre Dame is going to have one of the premier running games, definitely one of the two premier running back tandems in the country, and you have them to like 128 yards rushing.
And the defense has made adjustments since then, too, right? Now, I'm going to tell you, Obi, worry is not the right word, because I'm not worried. I am watching the situation, okay? I want to see, I think defense does travel. I want to see how this defense travels here over the next month, because they don't return to Kyle Field until November the 15th.
Right.
And some of these games, I think Arkansas this weekend, I'm interested in it because you haven't been in Fayetteville in forever. Bobby Petrino is going to have a different look to that offense, or not to the offense, but just a different vibe, okay? You got to go to Missouri. Missouri, to me, showed me something in their loss to Alabama.
Okay.
They showed me something.
Okay.
And Baton Rouge.
That's what Missouri's known for, to do, show you something.
They're the show me state, right? And Baton Rouge is always hard. Regardless of what you think about them, you look at what they did against South Carolina, they were bad in the red zone, right? They gave up some really dumb points, which hopefully happens against A&M. But they also are looking at, like, we could have blown this team out. We had this opportunity in the first half to do X, Y, and Z, and we didn't. So this season, as Coach Elko talked about, is defined by the middle part of the year, right? And by middle part, we're talking from, what we've just seen through these next 3 games.
These 3 games, look, I want to win all 3, okay? If you win 2 of the next 3, I think you go ahead and write your ticket to the playoff. I expect them to win all 3. I know that's difficult, but the way I look at it is you're better than Arkansas, you're better than LSU, and I think you're better than Missouri. And if you play like the better team like you are, you'll win these games. I'm not saying any of them are going to be easy, but why? I would ask anybody. I would ask you why. Why would you? Why would you think Arkansas, LSU, or Missouri is a better football team than this. I'm not asking about you've not won. I know you haven't won in Baton Rouge since '94. I know that going up to Fayetteville can be tricky, and Petrino's now in charge of things. But I'm just saying, if you just broke it down, I know what's going on at Missouri. Why would you think any of those teams are better than Texas A&M?
Through 6 games, they're not.
And I would ask, you're going to be talking to Josh Pate and Marty Smith and all those things, and I would wonder what they would, if they would say, well, I think Missouri's better. Why? Not if you want to say, well, they're going to be at home. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just if you took your starting lineups and your rosters and things like that. Why is that a better football team than Texas A&M?
Well, the ranking,
they are.
The rankings through 6 games would say that they're not better than Texas A&M, both of those teams. Now, going to Baton Rouge is scary. I'm not even thinking about that yet, though. I want to go to Fayetteville. You're going to go to Fayetteville, and you're going to see how the Hogs atmosphere looks. I'm interested to see, will it be a little bit more crazy because it is Bobby Petrino's first game against against anybody, but at home at least?
Like I said, it is a season saver for what are they, 2-4? They're 2-4. Look, they know that they're not going to go even to a bowl game. I mean, they got to know it, but they can hope. But you know what you could do? You know what? With despite everything, if you're an Arkansas fan, despite everything, if you could come out and beat A&M, this team that's ranked 4th in the country, and that has been punking you on a consistent basis, and now you got them at home, and you can, borrow the phrase from Jaden Preston a couple of years ago, you can piss in their Cheerios, all those things, and we didn't win, but at least, by gosh, we went out at our first game at home under Bobby Petrino and beat those guys, and it's a season saver for them. So I'm guarantee you, I don't know what the best effort that Arkansas has, but that's what you're going to get.
This is TexAgs Live.
It is.
We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers in the Rollo Insurance Studio, and it is the Go Hour presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. He's Olin Buchanan.
I'm Olin Buchanan. He's David Nuño.
Today is Monday, October the
13th,
2025.
Yeah.
Just in case anybody didn't know. Typically, we're hanging out right over there at the Buppies Catering. No, excuse me. Sorry. Holistic Planning Cool Zone. You can call Buppies as well.
That's pretty cool, too.
But speaking of holistic planning, where taxes and investments actually work together so you can keep more of your money and stop tipping, I just spit everywhere, the IRS. Because unlike Northgate bar tabs, this tip is optional. Visit holisticplanning.com and gig them. Now, the people can call the Buppies Catering and Bartending Hotline.
Yeah, if you want to be a part of the show, that's all you got to do.
I think people are scared to be a part of the show. I think they're scared. I don't think anybody will call the next segment. I think they are scared to show their love for Texas A&M football.
Yeah, if you want to call or text.
They're scared. They're not going to. They won't tell you how they really feel about this team because they're scared to put their name on the line.
Share your feelings. And you can do that by calling the Buppies.
What's the phone number?
979 693 1150.
Yep, you can do that. Let's go around the room and say hi to the people, shall we?
Let's do.
Behind the glass is our friend. He's our director, and he's everywhere. He's Nick Savage.
Howdy, good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
Well, I know you're going to do your turning point in the next segment. That's all playing Cool Zone. But my favorite part of that game, Aggies get the ball back with 12:47 left in the fourth quarter, and they proceed to go 13 plays, 50 yards, and they waste 8 minutes off the clock. And this team's been home run hitters, right? They've been big plays, explosive. They've been scoring quick, but it was so nice to see them when they needed to slow it down and really drive and put the game away. They were able to do it at the tail end of that game. So that was my favorite drive of the year, my favorite drive of that game.
I loved it, and I made the smart decision to go to the field during that drive because, what was there, a timeout? There was something that went on that gave me a moment to be able to get in the elevator, get down there. I think
they reviewed something.
What's that?
I said, I think they reviewed something.
Yeah, it gave me a few extra minutes, so I got on the field, and I was not able to watch the touchdown live because the cannon was about to go off, and Trev and everybody was like in that little hallway, so they kept us back. And that cannon gets pretty loud when you're in the same hallway. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Aggies gather at the Angry Elephant. Ella Ryan, good morning.
Morning, David.
That good morning by me was a little loud. I apologize for that.
You're in a good mood. It's okay.
What's going on with you?
Nothing much. Just loving the Aggie sports. Our volleyball team rolled past Mississippi State in 3 straight sets for its 5th conference win of the season. But this victory marked head coach's Jamie Morrison's 50th career win with the Aggies. And Logan Ledecky broke into A&M's all-time top 10 for the career kills after the matchup.
That is good stuff, and they'll just continue rolling through. Give us another one, shall you?
Yeah. A&M baseball wrapped up its fall slate with an 8-4 win over TCU Friday night at Olsen Field. The Aggies showcased their depth by using 17 position players and 10 pitchers in the 12-inning exposition. A&M finished with 6 hits, and they drew an impressive 13 walks.
That is impressive. OB, we're going to hit a break here. I'm going to read this little note here from AgEx80PETE.
Okay.
I don't think I've read him before, but I'm not familiar with your game. Florida's run defense is one of the best in the SEC. We managed to rush 4.2 yards per carry, but that includes no losses for sacks. They definitely slowed us down.
Okay. It's some teams are going to be better at some things than others, and if they're good at something, you're not supposed to be easy. So Ag.
It's a lot of letters.
With a bunch of letters with the Ag alphabet. Do you want to give the win back?
I think he's saying we did pretty well considering how good Florida is.
Well, I thought the last part of that sounded like it was more of a. Read that last part of it.
The last part of that says we played. I don't know. I lost it.
Okay, if I misunderstood, my bad.
Anyway, one person's not scared to talk to us on the one. We have one Aggie fan that says, "I'll talk about the Aggies."
If he's going to be like, if he's going to sound like that, I don't want to.
I want him to. I want everybody to do that voice as they call the show.
Everybody calls when you talk about the Aggies. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about them.
Okay, would you use that voice at 1775?
Heck no.
What kind of would you use? A man's voice?
Hell yeah, because that's a man's meal. You go in there and say, hey, I want some 1775 barbecue. Serve me up some of that succulent brisket. Give me some of that jalapeno cheese sausage. And while you're at it, let's have a couple of slabs of those amazing pork ribs. And you know what? Give me some turkey too, because that's really good. But the thing you can't do is you can't deny a man's man, that jalapeno cheese. I'm sorry. I was already at the queso mac and cheese.
All right. Can a woman go there too?
Yes.
And how would they order a meal?
Well, like my dainty wife would go in there and say, give me some of that damn queso mac and cheese.
1775 txbbq.com is the website. Call them up, 979-492-6241. It is 1775.
It's good.
Hey everyone, it's David and Olin from the Holistic Planning
Cool Zone.
You know, I like when we have the chairs here because I don't feel like I have to do this when we're talking about holistic planning. But they want you to know, TexAgs subscribers, they take care of the TexAgs subscribers.
Oh, absolutely. Take care of everybody.
They want to know that anybody who signs up by November 27, 2025 will receive this awesome offer. If the Aggies beat the Longhorns or win in Austin on November 28, 2025, clients will pay no management fees to Holistic Planning for the entire 2026 calendar year.
That's free.
It's free 99. Actually, just free.
All you got to do is beat Texas. Well, it's not if they beat Texas. It's when they beat Texas.
When. And when you go to holisticplanning.com, you're going to love Holistic Planning. So it is holisticplanning.com. Check out the website and take advantage of this awesome offer. Yeah.
Yeah, so so you said the texter
Yeah.
that
He was propping A&M.
So I misunderstood.
He's a petroleum engineer, which means he is smart.
Yeah, so that I would.
I don't even know how to spell petroleum.
Well, I can do that. But okay, so if I didn't get the gist of what his message was, then okay, my bad.
Hey, it's TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers in the Rollo Insurance Studio. The Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. So we have two real A&M fans.
Okay.
All right, because everybody else is too cowardly to talk about their love for A&M unless they're angry.
Did they call so we hear them talk like this?
No, I don't know. But I don't have any names on the line.
Okay.
So I don't know who's who. So we're just gonna. It's like Russian roulette. Here we go. Probably should use a different term. Good morning, caller. Welcome to TexAgs. Who's this?
Hey, it's Ross.
Ross, you've called before. You have stones. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. I'm one of the 2 or 3 callers. I know everyone likes to text, but you challenge me, and I'm answering the challenge.
Accepting the challenge.
Just like the Aggies have answered the challenge. All these teams that they've played in the SEC, they've come off a loss. And go ahead and include Notre Dame, too. They came off a loss, and they needed a win. Mm-hmm. They all needed a win. And A&M denied them straight up. Said, no, we're not dealing with that. We're going to deny you. They did it once on the road against Notre Dame. I don't think Notre Dame will stumble the rest of the way. They're probably going to be 10-2 at the end of the season. We're going to see about these other teams, but I mean, realistically, I think of these 3 SEC teams that have played, probably 2 or 3 of them will end up bowl eligible. I know that's asking a lot, but I think it can happen. And I wouldn't be surprised if all 3 of them ended up bowl eligible. So we just got to keep playing our games and let the other teams play their games. Arkansas is a wounded animal. You're right. Olin, A&M's a better team. And I'm not going to talk in that voice that you said, the scared callers were going to talk in because
you're not scared.
Because I'm not scared to call. I'm not scared about the season. I hope y'all have a great day. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Ross. Appreciate you, buddy. All right,
that's a guy that could order at 1775.
Yeah, he's got it. He's got the game. All right, let's go to Dave.
Dave
on the Bubby's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Dave, you've got stones. Good morning, buddy.
Dave the Rave.
Hey.
There? Yeah. Talk.
Okay. First of all, I feel different about this team. I graduated in '81, and we were so bad. One year we beat Penn State at Penn State and then lost to Rice at home. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been through the pain and I've been through the shame. But anyway, I think Elko's got this team solid and focused. Now, the 2 things I want to focus on this morning is, number 1, the penalties. Oh, my God. They cleaned it up.
Yes,
I mean, that was like a whole nother game. And their focus on the 3rd down is incredible. I don't care who you're playing. To stop a team as much as they did in the last 3 games, like they have, that's just incredible. I mean, they were showing a thing on ESPN. There were national championship teams that had higher percentages of stops than A&M has right now. So I haven't drunk the Kool-Aid. We're not going undefeated, I don't think. But the realm of us doing 10-2 is a whole lot better now than not. And you're right. Arkansas going into Arkansas, wounded pig. That ain't fun. Okay. But I think that may be our toughest game until we play Texas.
Well, I'm not going to go there.
I'm not going there. Dave, I love your thoughts, but I'm not ready to go.
I know where you're going because you're saying because they're a wounded pig and they're at home and all those things and it's a season saver for them. But I still think the trip up to Missouri and Baton Rouge are still going to be more challenging. But you're right. I mean, it's not going to be. You just can't say, okay, this is the W. You're going to have to go. You got to earn them all, except for maybe Sanford.
Yeah. Hey, David, thanks so much for the phone call, buddy. Appreciate you.
All right.
Hi, David. Thanks. All right. We'll hit a break. I see we got another caller.
Okay.
So we'll do that on the other side. So I guess we have 3 people who are not scared to talk.
You challenged them.
I did challenge. I want to know where they're calling from, though.
Probably everybody that's listening is calling.
Are you calling from College Station? Brian?
Well, you didn't ask that before.
Now I'm going to.
Okay.
The next 3 callers. Navasota? H-Town represent?
I want to hear from somebody out of the country.
I don't, because they got me before.
Hugh, where you at, Hugh?
His last name is Jazz.
Yeah.
Anyway. Hey, what are you wearing? Look at this. I love
Duck camp.
I love when they make it easy for me.
Duck camp.
Why are you wearing duck camp?
First of all, because I like it. I think it looks good.
That's a good
If
reason.
it can look good on me, it can look
Can I
good
tell
on
you
anybody.
something?
Yeah. Like if Elle over there was wearing this, it'd look a lot better on her than me.
Yeah, well, that
goes without saying.
Yeah.
But it still looks good on me.
Okay. I'm a little jealous that I don't have the blue one. I have the green one, which I love, because, I'm military Dave without any military experience. But that blue one, I think, would look very nice with my skin tone.
It brings out the blue in my eyes.
Your eyeshadow really pops with that.
Eyeshadow. It's just,
Duck Camp. They also have fishing shirts, which you own some.
Yeah.
They've got the essential hoodie.
This is always essential.
Essential in your wardrobe. They've got the scout shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't have those.
They got it all, and they got the best hats.
Yeah. In fact, I meant to put on one of the hats today, but I would have had to go back into the bedroom to get it, and the lights were off, and Irma was asleep, and so I thought, I will.
All right. Well, check out Duck Camp, designed for the outdoors and built for everything else. It is Duck Camp.
Duck Camp.
So I challenged the humans.
All right.
And they've been calling. We got more callers on the line. It's TexAgs Live.
Aggies don't back down from anybody.
No, some people back down.
No, they were playing Tom Petty. That they won't back down.
They won't back down. Let's go to the angry elephant news and social center because we're going to read a text because there's been a lot of texts.
A lot of texts.
But I thought this one caught my attention.
Yeah, it says, Longhorn fan here. The Aggies look pretty salty on offense and defense is improving. If both Texas and Texas A&M keep improving, the game in November will be a classic.
Yeah. First off, I hope it's a classic beatdown, to be 100% honest with you. And I'm only kidding with this Longhorn fan here. But what does the first line of the sentence say?
Oh, yeah, it says Longhorn fan here. But
And how's he spelling here?
H-E-A-R.
That Longhorn education.
Well, but
I'm just kidding.
But it makes sense to me because he was obviously listening.
He was listening. That's right. Longhorn here.
Yeah.
Ing. Let's go. We made Ella laugh there. We'll go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We got a lot of callers.
Let's hear them.
And they got names.
All right.
Brad.
Where are they from?
Brad, where are you calling from? What up?
Good morning, guys. Hey, this is Brad.
Hey, Brad. This is Brad?
Hey. Yes, that's it.
What's on your mind, Brad?
Hey, this so far this season is reminding me of the 2020 season where Elko made a lot of adjustments for that second half in the defense. And it seems to me, I mean, he's the best at it, that he comes out kind of in a base defense. You feel your prey out the first half. Florida thinks, man, we moved the ball a little bit, doing this and that. And then Mike makes the adjustments. Florida comes out the second half kind of doing the same thing they did in the first half. And it's kind of like Mike lured them into coming into the second half, and he's like an anaconda. Then he just puts the grip on them and squeezes the life out of them and leans on them. And that seems to be the formula. I remember in the 2020 season, we'd always be close in the first half. And I think the offense goes, your opponent's offense goes into the second half thinking, well, those things kind of worked in the first quarter, and they keep doing the same thing. But he makes the adjustments in coverage. He has the talent now to do it. And I think it's just working great. And I think you're going to see it more and more and just squeezing the life out of opponents in the second half.
He's an Aggie Conda.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Brad. Appreciate you. Aggie Conda.
Conda. Or an Elko Conda.
Elka Conda. El Code. KO.
The LKO.
Yeah, apparently. There was
a lot more T-shirt coming to you.
A lot of more support for that than I expected, and then a lot of hate.
I'm sure it's going to be big in the Hispanic community. LKO.
Let's go back to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Elizabeth in Temple.
Knockout. Oh, in Temple.
Yeah, Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Beat the hell out of everybody we play.
Heck yeah, Elizabeth.
Make that a shirt.
Yeah.
We're enjoying this season. We're enjoying seeing our fighting Texas Aggies beat the hell out of everyone. Confident they're going to continue to do so, one game at a time. They're our superheroes on game day, and we expect them to continue getting the W's. We are loving it and enjoy watching them having fun playing their game.
Elizabeth, thank you so much. Say hi to David for me, all right?
I'm sorry, what?
Say hi to Dave for me.
I don't understand what you said.
No, it's all right. We'll talk to you
we
later.
understood what you said. And then once again, now that's a lady that could order at $17.75. She ain't scared.
Yep. Elizabeth always with great calls.
We could all learn a lot from the way Elizabeth approached that. She says, we're going to continue to do it. We're loving it.
We're going to love doing it.
With that Aggie Conda.
Let's go one more, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, everybody else is scared to call. We're going to do one more. Gary in Liberty Hill. Gary, welcome to TexAgs Live. What's up, buddy?
Hey, howdy, David and OB. Great to talk to you guys real quick. I'm Rancho Texano on YouTube. I watch every day, comment every day, like every day. Love you guys. But a couple things. The atmosphere this Saturday, unbelievable. Even with, there were some concerns about the students being on break. All but the top of the corners of the end zones and the fourth deck were full. What an awesome experience. I got by the TexAgs tailgate for the first time. not as many people there. I think if you had Luke or Zane or some of the cast, the characters there, you might be able to get more folks. But here's really what I wanted to ask you guys about. So the secret to Elko, right? Like this third down defense is unbelievable. It really happens, and he talked about this, that it happens on first and second down. What kind of trick plays? Bobby P wants this so bad he can taste it, right? So what do you think he's going to do on first down to try to change that calculus? Because you know he wants this game so bad.
Well, Bobby's going to feed the studs, right?
Yep.
Problem is he's got to find them, So A&M has to starve their studs. But I think that A&M's just going to try to do what they do, control the line of scrimmage because – they're going to try. I'm sure some misdirection, have some trick plays, but if you're just controlling the line of scrimmage, those trick plays can only take you so far.
You're exactly right. And Rancho, by the way, some of us were working the pregame because I do the show, but you're right. We'd love to hang out with you next time you come by the TexAgs tailgate. There was a message I was going to. WD6919.
Okay.
Elka Conda.
The Elka Conda. And I would say that Elka Conda, you don't want none because you can't run, son.
Keep rhyming.
Well, you know the song.
No, I don't. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, do you know?
The song? Yeah.
What song?
Anaconda?
Now, remember that Baby Got Back?
Yes. Oh. I didn't think you would go to, Sir Mix-a-Lot. I didn't think you would go in the 80s.
But I kind of changed it. With the Aggie Conda or Elka Conda, you don't want none because you can't run, son.
OB, I'm sorry. That, my friend.
I'm so hip. I'm big in the rap community. Reynolds rap.
Like Christmas rap.
Like Reynolds rap.
We'll hit a break. Our run of callers has ended. People were scared. That's all right.
Because you can't run,
son. I love being 6-0.
I may have to.
You hear it?
Yeah, but they need. I love that. But that was one of the few. So I bet
you like that one.
I bet I would listen to that 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
That's why it came to me.
Huh.
So let me ask you: do you like Aggie Conda or Elko Conda?
Aggie Conda and El Code. KO'd.
Okay.
This ended quickly. All right, guys.
Can't run.
No, you can't run. We had a lot of stuff planned, but we had callers today, and we got advice on how to handle TexAgs in the future. We've got ways to stop, teams that we're worried about. Some people were worried about Arkansas more than the LSU game.
We never got to the turning point.
Well, I put for my turning point, and we can have multiple. When Florida decided to go for it on 4th and 6, 12:48 on the clock, instead of punting when their defense was doing well, it's only a 7-point game. They punt, or they don't punt. So A&M takes over midfield, and they go 12 plays, 50 yards, and that ate 8 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to even
expand.
I'm going to even zoom in a little bit more on that. A&M.
Oh, by the way, they converted 3 third downs.
After they got the ball, A&M was looking at 3rd and 5. At that point, A&M had been denied on 3rd down. If I'm not mistaken on this, they'd made one of their last 6 3rd down. It's still a 7-point game. If you don't get this 3rd down, you're punting. And it was a jet sweep to Casey Concepcion.
Yes.
He picks up 7. And to me, that's the turning point.
Because the game turned.
Because they don't have to punt, and then they were able. And I don't think they faced a longer 3rd down than that in the rest of the drive.
Now, I think this next one I'm going to give you is too early to call a turning point.
Okay.
But maybe a turning point for Marcel this season was the very first offensive play, connecting deep. What did I say on Bank on It on Friday?
That he was going to connect deep.
When?
Right away.
In the first quarter.
First quarter.
It was the first play.
First play of the first offensive play for him.
And maybe it's a turning point for the season because we've been waiting. And we've seen some almost, overthrown. He connected. And remember, this just came right after Florida went down the field and just, knife through butter, right? They went right through the A&M defense to start the game. You know what A&M does? I got your back. Boom. Touchdown 2 plays later.
I think our previous caller, though, he's right. I think that Elko kind of figures out what you're going to do. And then
when they come for you,
takes it away.
Yeah.
And squeezes the life out of you.
Squeezes the life out of them.
With the Aggie Conda.
A couple other things I want to talk about. You put this in your Love, Learned, and Loathe.
Yeah.
Jamaria Morrow. Let's see more of him.
Yeah, I think you
more
gotta see.
of Morrow.
Yeah. Yeah. I look forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Did you like the movie Annie?
Tomorrow. I never saw it.
Never?
But I heard the song.
Yeah. You've never watched the movie Annie?
Never.
I bet you Ella Ryan has.
I love Annie.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But I like the new one with Jamie Foxx.
That was good. Yeah, I know. I have kids. That's why. Anyway, another thought. James Franklin fired.
Yeah. Yeah. So there are those.
I was actually surprised by that.
Just, 3 weeks ago, he's in overtime against Oregon.
They win that game. How different does everything look?
Yeah. Last year, they're in the playoff.
Final Four. Surprised by that. Especially with the buyout. Was it $48 million, something like that, $50 million?
I heard somebody say this, and I can't remember who it was. It was maybe a national guy, but I have to think that they're probably right. Is people may be looking at Texas A&M and say, hey, they went ahead and bit the bullet on Jimbo Fisher and and look where they are now.
Yeah.
We can't afford to just, if we think that there's a problem here, we can't wait. We got to do what A&M did.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what's going on.
Derek, I heard on an earlier sports show that Penn State has Elko on their list of coaches. Nobody knows who's on their list.
Look, Mike Elko is going to be on everybody's list of coach. Everybody that has a coach is going to want needs a coach is going to want Mike Elko. Doesn't mean you can get him. I mean, every guy except me and David probably has Sydney Sweeney on their list of women they want to date. Doesn't mean you're going to get her. I said, but you don't have her on the list, right?
I don't have a list.
Right.
I don't have a list.
But every guy with a list would probably put her on. Doesn't mean they're going to get her.
No.
Right?
No. Yeah. But sometimes you got to know what league you're in.
That's right.
And Penn State is a good job. It's a very good job. But I'm not worried about that one iota.
Well, it would seem like he's got everything going in the right direction here.
Yeah, I think so too.
Put in a lot of work and done some great things here.
Let's try to read another text before we hit a break. Miss Ryan?
Yeah. I got one from our premium chat, and it said, we are leading the SEC in the number of field goals attempted while being at the bottom end of the SEC in field goals made. Also, we have attempted the most punts. This seems to be a potential issue going forward because this would indicate our offense stalls often, and then we can't punch it in the end zone.
Scored 33 against Florida, or 34, against Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
And I agree, field goals are an issue, but all the ones Randy Mohn's missed this year have been between 41 and 49 yards. Am I right about that?
Anything inside of 40, he's usually pretty accurate. Outside of that, you're kind of rolling the dice a little bit, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
You got to hit the 40 plus. You have to in the SEC.
But maybe we're going to get to that point where, you get that one extra touchdown drive that's missing, and you start averaging in the 40s.
OB, enjoy your trip to Alabama. SEC Media Days for basketball.
Basketball Media Days tomorrow and Wednesday.
You and Luke will be there. We'll get you on the show tomorrow on Zoom. Thank you, sir. When we come back on TexAgs Live, Marty Smith will join us. We'll chit-chat about all things SEC college football related. It is TexAgs Live. Follow insurance. Oh, hey now. Welcome back to the program. All good. Let's go to the Puppies Catering and Bartending Hotline. We're joined by Marty Smith, and this is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Huddle up. Tailgate season is here, and there's no better place to gear up than Academy Sports and Outdoors. If you want a grill that says my barbecue is just as good as my smack top, they've got you a cooler that screams I hold 47 cans and keep my cool even in overtime. They've got that as well. And fan gear that says I score more style points than a football spinning, back flipping, funky chicken touchdown dance. Academy has that at undefeatable prices because here the fun can't lose. Marty,
impressive.
Buddy.
Impressive right there, man. That was a lot of words that rhyme and some alliteration. That was some verbal gymnastics, dude. You're like the Simone Biles of verbal gymnastics. That was very well done.
Thank you, sir. How was your weekend?
Busy as hell.
Yeah.
Just super grateful, man. Last Thursday, I went to Williamsport, Pennsylvania for a college game day feature shoot that'll air this coming Saturday on Tom Sillo, the 58-year-old defensive nose tackle for Lycoming College. Unbelievably inspiring dude, David. So you guys will see that on College Game Day Saturday, and I promise you be very inspired by Tom, his story, and his conviction to not only chasing his dream, but the impact he's had on millions of people to chase their dreams who might have been scared to do that for whatever reason. And then I went to Como for the Crimson Tide and the Missouri Tigers. Fantastic football game. Snot bubbles, man. Licks passed all over that field. And I was thoroughly impressed with Coach Drinkwitz and the team he's built. And I think if that safety doesn't get booted for targeting, which was a vicious, vicious hit early in that game, who knows what happens. But Alabama continues to impress me. Then yesterday I was in Atlanta to interview Josh Allen for Monday Night Countdown tonight. Very inspiring and insightful conversation. You guys will see that this evening. And I'm just trying to get my bubbles level this morning. But grateful to spend time with you. The Aggies 6-0 for the first time in a decade. Very impressive football team. Very complete football team. I feel like Marcel Reed continues to improve, as I've said on here many times. I just think he's one of the more impressive players in the country, much less at that position where so much is coming at you so often. Defensively, they're nasty. They run to the football. Elko has done a tremendous job. I saw a statistic this morning that you'll know off the top of your head. This is the first time in our lifetimes or something that a coach has gone 3-0 back-to-back seasons, right? In conference play or something like that. I don't know. Some really good stat about maybe it's the first time an A&M coach has gone 3-0 in consecutive years in the league since y'all joined the league, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, damn good job by him and his staff and what they're building there.
Marty, typically we get right into football, but you always start off with a little bit of gratitude. And since I met you, that's always been your style. Where does that come from? How do you start your? I'm just trying to get to know you a little bit through this process. So, where does that come from, and how do you start your days focusing on that when you're talking about your schedule? Josh Allen, you got NFL, you got NASCAR, you got college football, you've got ESPN, you got SEC Network, you've got your podcast with Jim. So you're all over the place. How do you make time to really focus on that part as you start your day?
Man, I'm married to an angel for 25 years with 3 healthy kids. I think it's faith. I try really hard to live my life with a gratitude mindset, not a comparison mindset. Because, David, you know, in this career, all of us have egos. Every one of us do. And you have to, in some sort of way, to stand in front of people all the time with conviction. And I want to make sure that I exude that gratitude because it is genuine. You know, as somebody who grew up in Appalachia with super hardworking parents who taught me the golden rule from the time I can remember, I think it's an obligation to lead with gratitude, because if you don't, then you're forsaking the blessing of the opportunity. Yeah, I just rolled off all of that stuff, but I can promise you those good old boys and girls who are working 40 on an assembly line, or maybe somebody who's in a cubicle, they're not going to feel sorry for anybody who has this life. It is beyond my comprehension that that's the life that I have and have been blessed with. So, yeah, it's a lot of airplanes, but I ain't working for a living. As a guy who grew up, working on my family farm every day and putting salt licks out at 5:30 in the morning before I went to school, and then went back to the farm after football practice and basketball practice and baseball practice. This is a dream, bro. So that's the only way I know how to answer it. But I'm just, God has blessed my family so deeply that I wake up every morning and I spend time in quiet and I journal and I read my Bible to make sure that I maintain that center, because we're just, man, so thankful. We're very blessed people.
Keeping in with the theme of gratitude, you started off talking about Marcel Reed, and I think sometimes Aggies, we expect the train wreck at the end, right? Like, all right, things are good, but like this could happen.
Yeah.
I want you to kind of talk about what A&M has and try to forecast it in this positive light, because you got a great defense. You got a quarterback that makes game-winning plays at the end of games. Yeah, we understand that injuries happen and things can be derailed, and it's happened to A&M quite a bit. For where we are right now, appreciating where this A&M team seems to be headed.
I don't know any other way to say it. I would just be beaming. Again, I feel like this is a really complete team. I feel like there's NFL talent all over the place. And on top of that, there's an obvious culture that's been built of self-accountability and accountability to your brother. And there's a ferocity, and there's, for lack of a better term, there's a violence that this team plays with, and it's a violent game, and that's what you want. And so the league is very hard, David. I'll be surprised if anybody emerges from this league without a blemish or two, because any given Saturday in this league, you can lose if you don't have your absolute A game. And there's so much talent, there's so much depth, that the floor of the league is so much higher than maybe it's ever been. But I don't know what else you could want if you're a college football fan, to be undefeated after 6 games of the season, to defend your home the way A&M has, to be explosive offensively the way A&M is, to be so fast to the football the way that A&M is defensively. I just don't know what else you could dream of in the most competitive era of the sport that you could ever know. And when 7 or 8 programs have fired their coaches already because those wheels you're talking about fell off the bus. If you would have told me, man, a month ago that James Franklin would be unemployed. You ever seen Christmas Vacation? Of course you have.
Of course.
You're American. There's this scene in Christmas Vacation where Clark W. Griswold is lighting up the house. And remember how he's trying to get the cords together? And he's going down the line, and he sees Grandma and he sees Grandpa, and he hugs his wife and Russ and Audrey and everybody, and they're all fired up. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, isn't it beautiful, Eddie? Eddie?" And Eddie says, "You surprised, Clark?" And Clark says, "If I woke up this morning with my head sewn to the carpet, I wouldn't be as surprised as I am right now." And at the same time, the standards with all the money we're talking have gotten so high in college football that you got to win. And so, man, if I was you guys and your fan base, I'd be thanking my lucky stars and high-fiving my boys because Mike's got it rolling, man.
He does, Marty. And then you look around, nobody's going to make an apology for your schedule. And I'm not even talking about A&M schedule. I'm saying, like, poor Billy Napier in that schedule and what Hugh Freeze is trying to do at Auburn. And every week there's a controversial play or two that people are talking about from officiating or not finishing games. Like, this is going to cost people some jobs. The carnage is only starting.
It's crazy. I mean, when you look at the list, and you probably know it by heart, again, I'm a little all over the place mentally with all the stuff I'm doing. But, all right, Brent Pry, I'm a Virginia Tech, lifelong Virginia Tech guy. Brent fit the culture. Ultimately, he's a Frank Beamer disciple. If checks all the boxes, great man. Didn't win. All right. James Franklin, Mike Gundy, the Mr. Oklahoma State Cowboy, on and on down the list. Sam Pittman, the perfect guy for the culture of Arkansas, gone. So right, and Bill Belichick, arguably the greatest coach of all time. The noise. I live in Charlotte, man. I mean, it's all anybody's talking about. And the Panthers have won the last 2 games. And Rico Dowdle went crazy yesterday for the Carolina Panthers against his former team, the Dallas Cowboys. There's a lot of narratives, sports narratives around Charlotte, but the loudest one right now is Belichick. And so with the money juxtaposed with the demand that comes with the money and everything, it's a win or you're gone prospect. And I have defended Billy. I think Billy, and even though Florida fans continue to remind me of this, I'm not coming off it. I think the guy's a really good football coach. And yes, their schedule's very difficult. Incredible win against Texas, but you got to win. And so there's a fever pitch in Gainesville, right? So it's a very, very demanding conference for all of them. And so the job is to win games. It's really simple.
Talking to Marty Smith here. Marty, what's your takeaway from the way Texas beats Oklahoma a week after not looking good against Florida? Oklahoma gets John Mateer back. Doesn't look, you know what, some of the mistakes he was making early on that were dropped interceptions, whatever, came back to bite him. He had some questionable decisions, showed a lot of heart. But like Oklahoma, we felt like we knew, and the reality is we don't. And Texas, people started writing that narrative way too early, and that seemed to be also a little too premature.
I think we knew Oklahoma before Mateer got hurt. I think that he really gutted that thing out. He's bleeding, and it was a whole thing. But that Texas defense, which got pushed around by Florida at the point of attack, Florida ran the football effectively, which opened up the passing game. Dallas Wilson makes his debut as a collegiate player and just was incredible. A lot went right for Florida that day, and Texas was not incredibly impressive. That defense was who we think they are against Oklahoma. They were flying around. They made Mateer's life hell. He was running all over the place. They did a great job on the back end as well, took advantage of some of those misfires, getting turnovers. And they Texas ran the football. Trey Wisner being back was big for Texas. And just like I'm talking about with Florida against Texas, when you can run the football, it's like the SEC is like the NFL. You got to run the football, man. You got to run the football. And Texas was able to do that with Trey and establish the line of scrimmage. And then Arch, I felt like, looked really good too. So that was more the Texas that we expected. I'm not an AP voter, but I think it was fair based on potential that they were the number one team to start the season. And they've taken some lumps. They've taken some medicine. But, man, they look good in that Red River rivalry. I still want to call it shootout. I'm an old school guy. But that was a big win for Sark. And it was a big win for Arch with all the narrative around him and whether he was capable of living up to the potential that we all feel like he has. And I feel like he did a really good job. Man, it takes a special young man, David, to know all that's out there. And as you guys have seen, Steve Sarkisian's number one message to Arch is plug them. Pay no mind to it, good or bad, because someone else's opinion is none of your business, to quote Coach Saint, to quote Coach Prime. And so to have that fortitude and still go out and be able to produce and be a leader to your teammates, to me, I don't know a lot of 20-year-olds that are wired like that, because that has to be hard.
Marty, before I let you go, you look at this Arkansas team that A&M is about to face. Bobby Petrino gets his first home game as the head coach, interim head coach. They play everybody competitively. They made that Tennessee game interesting. You know, their defense has had some issues. This is, I wouldn't call it a trap game per se, but A&M hasn't played it in Fayetteville in forever, since 2012, I think it is. How do you see this game as a potential curveball for A&M season?
I don't. If as long as they come out with the urgency with which they've played this whole year, I think they'll be okay. I said Saturday morning on the Marty and McGee program that even though now Coach Pittman is gone and Bobby Petrino has been elevated to the head coaching position, what really changes? Okay, I know that he fired some defensive staff and whatnot, but they were already scoring points. Taylon Green is a fantastic football player. He's so dynamic with the football. But Coach Petrino was calling the plays, and Arkansas was struggling to stop other teams defensively. So I don't see a lot of change coming there from that perspective. I do think that it's indisputable that those players were playing really hard for Coach Pittman too. So just fundamentally, I don't know that I'm expecting a seismic difference here, at least this season for Arkansas. So to me, if Texas A&M plays with the urgency and the discipline that they've displayed so far through 6 games, I just think Texas A&M's better, deeper, more talented. So on paper, to me, as long as they do what they do, I think they'll win the game.
Marty, appreciate you as always, my friend. Have a great week.
Always. Thank you guys, brother.
See you, man. Marty Smith there on the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We will come back with Billy Liucci here on TexAgs Live. All right, let's talk about Heritage Films. If you got a farm, you got a ranch, you got a father, a mother, an uncle, you've got kids, you got people you like, love, Heritage Films is here for you to tell their story. You may be thinking to yourself, why do I want to tell people's story? Why do I want to tell my story? Because you want to tell the story for the future generations, to understand what your last name is all about, what your family ranch is all about, what your family business is all about, what your dad was all about, what your grandfather was all about. The beauty of a Heritage Films is it's a time capsule that will just continue telling the future generations all about that family name, that family business, and that family ranch. And Chance McClain and his team will do a 2-hour documentary for you in any of those capacities, and you're going to come away loving it. Your whole family will, for generation after generation. What you need to do is check out the website, yourheritagefilm.com, yourheritagefilm.com. Call them up, 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341. It is Heritage Films. Everyone, David Nuño here for Allen Honda. Had a great conversation with them earlier today. John Allen's the owner. He's been here forever. And also their GM, Rusty Skinner, great guy. Wonderful conversation. They're super local. They're a family-owned dealership, not some massive auto group. And they treat their customers like family because they basically are family. They're Aggie alums. They love Aggie sports. And they've been serving the Brazos Valley with integrity, with passion, and commitment to excellence for over 50 years, which is very rare, by the way, for the independents because people trust them. And that's why they've been doing it for such a long time. Whether you're looking to buy, lease, or service your vehicle, you can count on them for transparent, no pressure experience that puts your needs first. And I can attest to it. Had a great conversation about my own situation with them. Their knowledgeable sales team will help you find the perfect Honda to fit your lifestyle, from fuel-efficient sedans to versatile SUVs. Leasing options are flexible and affordable, making it easy to drive the latest models with confidence. And when it comes to service, their certified technicians only use genuine Honda parts to keep your vehicle running at its best, whether it's routine maintenance for major repairs or whatever it may be. And we know that trust isn't given, it is earned, and that's why generations of local drivers right here in the Brazos Valley and Bryan College Station keep coming back to Allen Honda. As part of the community with Aggie spirit in their hearts, they are here to make everyone's visit wonderful. So visit their showroom or their service lane and find friendly, efficient, and memorable situations when you go to Allen Honda. Come see why so many College Station and Bryan drivers choose Allen Honda for their automotive needs, and remember, gig 'em. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Should have Billy here probably in the next segment. We'll see. If you want to be a part of the conversation, you can do it. You can call us. We'll still take your phone calls because I know there's still some people who have stones. 979-693-1150. That's the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. But in the meantime, we've had a lot of people texting the show on the premium chat, on the text line, and of course on the YouTube page. So we go back to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Ella Ryan's got some of those thoughts.
Yeah, this is from our text line, but it's from Royal Raymond in Dallas. He said, when looking at this year's schedule, it was easy to see the success this season would start with defending home field. The Aggies have not had an undefeated season at home since the 90s, minus the COVID season. But Elko seems to be dispelling every myth and breaking every battered Aggie syndrome curse. Looking at the remaining schedule, where do you see the Aggies finishing the regular season?
I mean, it's hard not to think that this could be a 10-2 team. I mean, look, right now, game day, I'm a wreck, okay? Let's just be honest. Every play is magnified, everything. But, like, I'm going to be worried about every game because that's just how I'm wired, and I think a lot of us are. But some of you shouldn't be wired. I mean, shouldn't be scared, right? At Arkansas, A&M should win. Marty just said it on the show. We're better. At LSU, well, the history says A&M is going to lose that game because that's what happens when you go to Baton Rouge. Why do I feel good about it? I feel good about it for multiple reasons. I'm not saying that I'm guaranteeing a win, but I feel better about that game than I have in years. Why? Well, but I ask you why, David Nuño, and the answer is LSU has some problems offensively. Okay, A&M has showed to have some problems offensively, and they still scored 34 points. I think LSU loves to score 20. Look at LSU's schedule, how many times they've scored 20 this year. But, you look at them, and I'm like, oh, here we go. It's right there. They scored. Yeah. Okay, I guess they've only scored 20 twice. But they've scored 20, 24, 56, 20, 23, 17. So, they've had some issues offensively. But I think A&M, I don't know if should's the right word. I feel good about it. I feel good about Missouri, but I don't feel as good as I felt preseason. Preseason, I thought that was going to be, there's no way they were going to be able to match what they did last year. They showed me something against Alabama. But I believe, and this is another thing we can research, I believe Alabama doesn't stop the run well, yet they stopped Missouri running the ball well in the second half of that game. A&M is good at stopping the run. I feel that bodes well because they have Ahmad Hardy, who's a fantastic running back. So I feel good about it. I mean, I don't feel great about going in on the road anywhere in the SEC. You never feel great. Show me more of what's left there. So he's trying to talk about where I see things going. And then obviously South Carolina, Stanford, and Texas. So a lot of places to feel good about. In fact, before we should probably hit a break here, but I will finish this thought with Billy because I think it's interesting. Somebody texted the show. The question was, how do we feel with the rest of the season? Yeah. Basically is what he said. And I look at those games, and I don't feel great ever going on the road in the SEC because it's the SEC. But I feel better about these road games than I have in years. You don't have a mic on. What do you need? What are you looking for? Just tell me.
We're going to a break. I was going to say, can you lay that shirt down? I've got coffee and I've got some snacks.
This is more of a pizza place.
Sandwiches coming.
Yeah, it's more of a pizza. Pizza Hut back.
I like that shirt.
Yeah,
I do.
I know.
I genuinely like it. It's a good look today.
Thank you.
You thought I was coming in to make fun.
You did come in to make fun. That's
no,
exactly
it was a joke.
what you
it was
did.
A joke.
But that's called making fun.
No, that's a poking.
It's
fun.
making fun, but it's okay.
That is there's a difference between like loving, brotherly, picking on versus ridicule. That is.
I didn't call it ridicule. It was making fun.
It's a good shirt.
Thank you. And yours looks like a chamois that you can clean a car with. It looks like the kind you can squeeze out the water. That's what it looks like.
No, you just made fun of me. See how that works?
No, I don't.
Or I could have just laughed.
But I didn't say it. You were with the preemptive strike about.
It does kind of look like a chamois. It feels like one too. It's
a good
super
shirt.
comfortable.
I'd wear that.
It's Lulu.
If it was a little tighter, I'd wear it.
Billy's going to come on the show and talk about his Lululemon.
Why do you project?
No, not you. This is this. We're going to talk about clothes for 17 seconds, and we have football to talk about for an hour and a half after an hour yesterday, and 2 hours tomorrow, and 3 hours a day after that, and 10,000 words of writing. But God dang it, we talked about a shimmy shirt for 14 seconds. Now it's going on a minute. What am I paying for? Nothing. The show's free. Sorry.
I like when you come in on a rant.
In a good mood today.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pumpkin Palooza is happening this upcoming weekend, October the 18th and 19th from 10 to 2, each day at Milliken Reserve. And they've got a ticket coupon for our TexAgs listeners, guys, through Wednesday at midnight. What you need to do is when you buy your tickets, use the code TexAgs10. Texas fans should be able to go to pumpkinpaloozabcs.com and use that code for 10% off of Pumpkin Palooza tickets. They're good for both days. The event's been completely reimagined this year. Truly something for everyone with the pumpkin chunkin', the music, the hay rides, the kayaking, the mountain biking, the fly fishing, the trail runs, and even a lakeside beer garden. And of course, all that family fun festival activities that bounce houses, the trains, the face painting, and much, much more. Also, they're giving away some tickets this week on Facebook and Instagram. Just follow it at Pumpkin Palooza BCS. They've got you tickets there at TexAgs giveaway. What you need to do is go to pumpkinpaloozabcs.com. Use the code TexAgs10 for that 10% off. It's Pumpkin Palooza at Milliken Reserve. Hey friends, David Nuño here for Prize Picks. They're back on TexAgs, prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs to get $50 once you play in $5 lineups. And Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Football season's here, basketball coming up, baseball, you name it. You go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs and start having some fun watching sports, making some money on there. And you can play Prize Picks in over 40 states, including California and Texas. Remember, they'll give you $50 in lineups once you play $5 lineups on Prize Picks. And they have the new thing. It's called It's Good to Be Right campaign, and they're kicking off the upcoming NFL season with their bold new campaign, It's Good to Be Right. The seasonal long push celebrates the thrills of getting it right, from the perfect prediction to winning your Prize Picks lineups. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. He can't hear you. It's TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Carter.
Can you hear this?
Yeah, he can hear you
Hey,
now.
Nick, how about fix our mics and get us some real ones instead of these dork monitors that don't work?
As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggie Land since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. And as a reminder, they are not open on Mondays. So continuing that thought that we finished the last segment with, somebody asked how I felt the season's going to play out now that we've had these 6 games.
Yeah.
And it goes, I mean, look, I feel, I don't know how it's going to play out, but I feel much better about these road games than I have in years based on what I've seen defensively from this team. And also what I've seen this team do against a really good Auburn defense and a really good Florida defense. There were points of that game where A&M couldn't move the ball. That's called SEC football.
Yeah. Well, I was writing this morning about in the cover story, and I'm like, first of all, you're dead on. It's SEC football. I was also writing about welcome to the 2025 Aggie football experience. Okay, it is. You watch Florida come in red hot, and they go down the field, and your defense has a tough go of it, and then the A&M offense comes on the field and says, "Got you." 67-yard pass on the first play, 8-yard touchdown run untouched on the second play. That's what this 2025 team can do. And then as the game goes on, the game turns into a defensive war. And then the defense is like, hey, offense, we got you. We'll give up 3 points from 3 minutes left in the first quarter for the rest of the game. But right up until the fourth quarter started and the Aggies take the ball at midfield with 12 minutes and I think 38 seconds left, and they proceed to go on an 8-minute-plus drive to only cover 50 yards, 12 plays, convert 3 third downs, grind it out, clutch plays to keep the chains moving, punch it in for a touchdown, end the game. With under 5 minutes left, they're up 14, game over. It was offense complementing defense. It was defense complementing offense or backing each other up. It was both of them at the same time. The end result was a 34-17 win over an SEC team that came in here desperate, and it came in here confident, and it came in here with a hell of a lot of talent. And the spread was, what, 8?
It was 8.
And they beat them by 17, and they handed Florida their worst loss of the season. Now, I know they have 4 losses now. 3 of those were very close. This game was close, too, but A&M put so much distance away. And they really put the game away in the exact opposite style they started it. When they start with a 2-play, 75-yard answer, and they end it with a 12-play, 50-yard nail in the coffin, it just is a perfect example of what this team can do. They will answer, respond, beat you in any way required. And because, like we've been talking about, they don't have any glaring weaknesses, they can do it a different day, a different way each week. They can do it differently within a game. And I thought this was, I think Elko may have said this, I thought this was their most complete effort. And I know it was up and down in terms of the offensive production, but my God, guys, like, let's remember who you're playing there. That Florida defense, you've got half a season's worth of evidence. Nobody's done to them what A&M did to them.
Nobody.
Miami didn't.
27.
Texas sure as hell didn't. They didn't come close. And South Florida's a solid team. LSU didn't even come close.
LSU scored 13 on them.
Yeah.
Offensively.
Here's the other thing to say about the 13. They scored 13 with 4 picks. They had 5. It was a pick 6. So, like, let's take that one out. That pushed them to 20. But they had 4 interceptions the rest of that game, and still could only turn that into 1 touchdown. A&M scored 4 touchdowns on these guys, 3 in the first half alone, and, moved the ball up and down the field for a lot of this football game against a really good defense. And then defensively, Lagway came out. There's a throw right there. I mean, Lagway came out. That was the interception. I'm sorry. Lagway came out throwing absolute darts. Receivers were making incredible plays on the sidelines and snagging balls that they normally don't. And it wasn't sustainable. So from 3 minutes left in the first quarter, the rest of the game, Florida managed a field goal. This was a complete team effort where, again, 2 weeks in a row now, really 3. It's hard to say that when you win a game by 6 points, but if you watch the game, you knew. It's 3 weeks in a row now where Texas A&M has just outclassed an SEC opponent. And listen, I'm hearing people go, well, they've only played, they haven't played the meat of their schedule. I watch Florida. Florida's as good as LSU. Okay. Mississippi State is as good. I'm telling you, I watched them play. They're as good as Tennessee with that bad Tennessee defense. Like, you can go up and down. Auburn should have been up 17-0 against Georgia this week. Auburn was robbed of a victory in Norman, Oklahoma. These teams aren't dregs, and especially Florida with the level of talent. But A&M has looked like clearly the better football team in all 3 of those games. And anyone with any kind of football sense watching those games go, man, Texas A&M is just way better than these guys. And it doesn't mean the games aren't going to be close and competitive. They almost always are in this league. But at the end of the day, you've held teams to what? 10, 9, and 17 points in 3 SEC games. And you've outscored your last 2 opponents by, 17 and 23 points. Mississippi State and Florida. So you outscored your last 2 by an average of 20 a game. You've given up, 10, 9, 17. You've given up about, 13 points a game in those games. They're doing what great teams do to just middle-of-the-road teams. And that's what these guys are. They're doing what great
upper
teams
middle
do.
of the road teams, though, I would say.
In the country, yes. In the conference, no.
Yeah.
But, again, Florida, they played number 3 Miami. The games were similar, like different type of game to watch. Miami's offense struggled more than A&M's did, but different. And Florida's offense opened up in a way that Miami kept them from ever doing.
Yeah.
But you watch those 2 games and you go, okay, Miami needed a score middle fourth quarter to put them away. Same thing A&M did. You can compare Miami and Notre Dame and A&M and Notre Dame. Both teams beat them at the end of the game. The reason we're saying Miami is obvious. That's a team that's number 2 in the country right now, right? Or are they number 3?
I thought they were 2.
They're number 2. Yeah. So that's your second-ranked team in the country. A&M's now sitting at 4. You're trying to look at this and look, guys, I don't need it's not a lecture, but every time someone, me or one of your friends or you or anybody, national media person, SEC media, want to talk about the playoffs, they want to talk about the rankings, they want to talk about who's the best team in the SEC, who's the best team in the country. If you keep doing this stupid thing where, well, none of it matters right now, it doesn't matter, we still got, we all understand that. It's called talking about the sport while the sport's in season. I don't know if you know this, but an NBA season is 82 games?
I did know that, Billy.
Major League Baseball season is 162 games. Like, we don't just mute all conversation until right now in MLB. It's not like you don't talk about it. We're talking about each week you gain a little more information and the picture becomes a little more clear and you start to, the conversations become more and more serious about things like Atlanta, things like the postseason, things like who's the best team in the country, who should be ranked where. We're getting more intel and evidence. And Texas A&M, I think I'm perfectly fine with them sitting at 4. But I think it's very clear through 6 games and 7 weeks into the season, Texas A&M is one of the 5 best teams in the country. And outside of Ohio State, I think you could rank them anywhere from 2 to 4. And people want, I said this last week, they want to say, I heard Portnoy arguing this morning with Brandon Walker on their show about how could he have Bama ahead of A&M, and I agree. They have no business. I've got questions about Alabama. People can have questions about A&M too, that's fine, but A&M has provided more answers than Alabama has. And I think that Texas A&M has, the reason I would put them up there is they continue to show that they don't have weaknesses.
Yeah.
And you can't say that about many teams this year. Indiana looks like that. I mean, people don't want to say that, but versus who they play and what they show, what are their Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, Miami, those are the 4 teams I think you look at and you go, they don't have a blot on their resume like Bama, and they don't seem to have weaknesses. I got questions about Alabama's offensive line. And Missouri got after Ty Simpson, and we're sitting here going, the last 2 weeks, we've said, damn, I learned more about Vandy in a loss to Bama than I thought I knew. I like them even more now after watching that game. I like Missouri even more now after watching them. You said that yesterday after watching them play Bama. And football's football. You watch those 2 teams and you go, they're pretty good teams.
Yeah.
Right? And they're gonna be a problem on A&M's schedule in a few weeks. But when you've said that about two straight teams, maybe it's Alabama. And when Alabama's hanging their hat on this turnaround win that saved their season at Georgia, I'm like, what about Georgia? They took a miracle to beat Tennessee. Tennessee ain't that good. Tennessee was fortunate to beat Arkansas. They were fortunate to beat Mississippi State. They let one get away against Georgia. They're not that good. And a lot of it has to do with their defense. So that's Georgia's big accomplishment. Their other big accomplishment was coming within 1 yard and a fumble from being down 17-0 to Auburn, and they never would have won that football game had that not happened. So that's what we're building Alabama up on. And now we've forgotten the ass kicking they took at the hands of Florida State,
who's lost,
and who has lost 3 in a row now, and they're probably going to fire Norvell eventually. So I'm not sold on Bama, and we're having a discussion at the midway point of the season, and the question that should be asked is A&M the best team in the SEC? But you ask anyone outside of, a couple of people, some people will include them in Bama, but so many people just say, it's Alabama right now. It's Alabama. It's Alabama. And I'm going, why is that? Because they were kind of fortunate to beat Vandy and fortunate to beat Mizzou. And those are good wins. But that's why we're saying they're the best. When A&M's beating the brakes off of Florida and Mississippi State in the last 2 weeks. But, Oklahoma was the best when they barely beat Auburn. When A&M barely beat Auburn, people kind of, it was an afterthought. So I'm excited about where they're at, Nuño, because it's all you can, they've done everything you could ask for at this point, and what they've really done under Mike Elko is they've generated a ton of excitement, hope, and optimism based on performance, not based on preseason hype or hope.
Yeah.
And I hope, my other hope is that you don't wear, for the remainder of the week, any like that looks like you said, hey, John Neighbors, Reagan, the people over there that work with me. Mm-hmm. Hey, I know we talked about it at SEC Media Days. I never received that Arkansas themed button-up shirt. Can you get it sent to me in time for the week that we play y'all this year? Because I'd love to wear it on the show.
That's exactly what I did. I wanted to do that. Just like the blue that I wore on Monday of last week.
Are you just trying?
Yeah.
This is part of the plan.
No, I didn't think about it at all. But
it worked last week, so.
And so did my gi a couple weeks before. My clothing dictates what happens. Yeah.
Maybe forget everything I just said. Yeah. Just keep doing that, and we're going to be fine.
Hey, I have no time to do a spot. We'll be back. Let's talk a little Snaps clothing. David Nuño here, and I love wearing Snaps clothing everywhere. I've got the flannel on right now. You've seen me in the Tailgater collection with the A&M gear. It is fantastic. If you see me around town with my sons, Christian and Cruz, they've got a bunch of Snaps gear. When they have big games for Consol, they wear nice clothes, so they wear their Snap stuff. And I'm telling you, with baseball season here, let's all kind of go looking stylish and fit to the games there at Olsen wearing the Snaps clothing. As a reminder, they are the only official licensed Texas A&M Pearl Snaps maker out there. Their Tailgater collection is built for game day with breathable, moisture-wicking fabrics to keep you comfortable while you rep your Aggies in style. Now, whether you're watching the game from home or maybe you're in attendance, you're tailgating, whatever it may be, you got to make sure you head to snapsclothing.com to see everything they have to offer. It is fashionable, it is awesome, and you're going to love it. Billy, I recommend a book for you.
A book?
Yeah, Admiral McCraven. All right.
Wendell McCraven.
The Navy SEAL.
He's a Longhorn.
He is a Longhorn, but I don't hold that against him. He made a book called Make Your Bed, excuse me. And you want to start your mornings every morning with a win.
I've seen the.
It's a great book.
But I've seen him talk about it.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
It's a great book.
Nuño's on me because he's bragging.
Yeah, I'm bragging.
He's going. That was told Ella. Was he bragging about his morning or not?
He might have been bragging a little
Maybe
bit.
a little.
I've won the day.
He's won the day. He's won the day because he got his steps in. Yeah. He woke up at 4:30, made his bed, and took a shower. That was included.
Well, before that, I'd worked out.
He had won the day, and I said, "Who did you win the day versus? Like, who were you battling against for the day to win it?"
Everybody that works here. I beat everyone already. They're not going to catch me.
Okay.
That's a fact.
I didn't realize we were in it. If I'd have known it was a contest today, I would have made my bed.
Okay.
But I do agree. And I was just running late today because you know why?
Why?
Because I had a cover story to write.
Oh, that's
I wanted to go sit at breakfast by myself and type and hammer away at a cover story for you and for everyone else. So I'm sorry. The bed did not get made, but it is perfectly set up for me to return home, finish the cover story, and get a nap in while you continue to win the day.
Yeah.
You will extend your lead today
Hey.
Well, I get a much needed like 45
like my
minute
friend
nap.
Marty Smith, my dear friend. I have a lot of gratitude for you writing that cover story and all the work you've done today. Thank you, Bill.
Sir. Thank you.
When we come back on TexAgs Live, football talk and bed making next on TexAgs. And we're back. It is TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio, hour number 3 of the program, winning the day here on the show. We go back to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Ella Ryan, the people are texting questions and thoughts.
The peoples are texting. This is from Steve in College Station. He said the Aggies do have a weakness, and it is Randy Bond missing more field goals.
You know what?
We went through those numbers, Billy, at halftime. They're not as... They feel jarring in the moment, but they're not as bad.
I saw a video of somebody, people, like, if you're younger, and I don't know, you think it's cool, like, I wouldn't recommend, like, I wouldn't think it's super cool thing to do to go on Twitter and call, like, any A&M athlete a terrorist when they're not playing well.
Somebody
And I
said
saw
that?
that today. It's like a cool, they think it's cool. Like David Nuño's a terrorist, and it's stupid. Like it's just a figure of speech that people think is funny now on social media because social media has told them it's funny. So I'm going to try to fit in with other people on there. So I'm going to use that same verbiage because that's what Twitter has told me is cool to say. So I'm going to say it to fit in because I'm a freaking dork on Twitter. I'm going to be cool. So I'm going to say it about someone around my age, that's playing football for my school that I'm going to run up and pick up and hug and celebrate if he wins a game and ask him for his picture and all this crap. How about just say, hey, I'm concerned about kicking? Because I am, not in a big way, because I do think as Ella dug up the stats during the thing, 8 of 13 is not good. I think Randy Bond is kind of doing what we knew going into the season on him, which is he's 8 for 10 under 50. Okay, so he's 8 out of 10 under 50. He did miss one under 50 this week. That was it was a significant one at that point in the game. And it does feel like, there's been moments where it's like, man, he's missed a significant kick right there. The one right before halftime against Auburn that would have put you up 16-3 at the half. There was the one right before halftime against Notre Dame that would have left you up by I think they were up 3 at halftime. It would have put you up 6. And I think it really would have frustrated Notre Dame and energized the Aggies and really get another kick to that crowd right before halftime because of the way it came about with the unexpected turnover on downs. A&M gets the ball. So these are like meaningful field goals, but 8 for 10 under 50. I think that's what we knew about Randy. Like if you extend him out too far, he doesn't have that range. I think that's why Zirkle, a big part of why he won that job in the preseason before getting hurt. I think for Randy Bond, he just needs to consistently make. You want more. You want a Lou Groza Award winner at kicker. Every team does, but for what he is, I think he just needs to be really consistent inside of 50 yards and not miss ones like he did on Saturday. But yeah, he's 8 for 10 under 50. All three of his 5 misses have been over 50 yards, and he hasn't made one. He made one 49-yarder, so he hasn't made one over 50. So we very clearly know his range. I don't think I would call that a weakness. I think a weakness would be a far even more erratic kicker. But I will say, when he lines up for those kicks, it doesn't feel automatic, and that's it doesn't feel, even though it's 8 of 10, it doesn't feel automatic under 50 either. So I think he just needs to get to where we can start feeling like, all right, if you trot him out there for something under 50 yards, he's going to make it.
Yeah.
That's where I want to see that get. I think a weakness at kicker is when you just have zero confidence and you think, and the guy's a major problem. Randy Bond's made some pretty significant kicks in his college career, and he's made a couple of really significant kicks this year. Like, they may not have won the game against Notre Dame. Twice he took the field in the second half on the road and hit from 40 plus in South Bend both times in the second half. Those kicks were required for A&M to tie the game, and Notre Dame and that offense that was rolling not get the ball back with a chance to go down the field and go up by 10, which would have been really problematic. So even this season so far, he's hit some clutch kicks, but he certainly has throughout his career. So I would say you have to factor that in when you're talking about what's going on.
When the McKinney brothers are here on Friday, I want to talk about the offensive line, but I do want to bring this up. So I think it was Luke who had the tweet out there. But overall, A&M's offensive line didn't allow a sack, a negative play for the first time all season, no penalties. Yet 4 offensive linemen with a passing block grade of 81.5 or better. Offensive line was fantastic.
That. I hate the grades when people outside of the building are grading and without a full understanding of exactly what they're trying to do. And so grades, schmades, everything else, like watch the football game, right? watch Florida's defense against Texas the week before, watch Florida's defense against Miami a couple weeks ago, watch their defensive front, watch how offensive lines fared against them, and then go look at A&M. And, yeah, the Aggies they didn't allow a tackle for loss. They didn't allow a sack. Pressures were kept to a minimum. They ran for 180-ish yards. I think just this offensive line is playing exactly like we hoped. They're playing exactly like we hoped they would. And in the last 3 games, they've gone 207, 179, and 199 or 299 on the ground. 300 yards, 200 yards, 180 yards. What they're doing running the football is beyond impressive. And as you're watching Le'Veon Moss run straight over and through that defense, I wonder what that rushing total and what that game would have looked like Saturday night had he not been banged up. Yeah. And by the way, for everyone wondering about the offense too, Le'Veon was 5 for 50 basically.
Yep.
Basically 5 for 50 yards. I don't know what this number is. Oh, this is Mississippi State stats in front of me.
I don't know why that you have
Yeah,
those.
so I said 179.
The Florida box is right here.
I don't even know what I'm talking about here.
But Le'Veon, I have his numbers.
Le'Veon
5 for 46.
5 for 46 yards. I don't know what he would have done with 20 carries. He might have he'd have probably had another 140 plus yard night for sure 2 weeks after doing it against Auburn. So we'll get an update today. I didn't like the way the Le'Veon Moss injury looked.
Mm-hmm.
It was I hate they need to ban those tackles from college football like they do in the NFL. That hip drop, I can't say it right now. It starts with chicken, ends in it. It is a cheap way of tackling. It's essentially mimicking the horse collar. And I'll be perfectly honest, some college coaches and defensive coordinators might say, no, that's how you get guys to the ground because you can't do this, you can't do that. It's how guys are getting hurt right and left. It's essentially a horse collar tackle. When you grab them and then you drop and fall and try to pull it, I don't like it. There's a reason the NFL's banned it. The players are worth too much.
Yep.
They're worth too much money to the league. Florida did that several times the other night. I saw clips where they showed 3, 4, 5 times Gator defenders did it. They did it to Craver, even on his first catch. These guys are landing awkwardly. You're fortunate every time there's one of those tackles that somebody doesn't get hurt. And Le'Veon did. When I say I don't like what it looked like, we'll wait till 1:30. I know some people can't. And I know from my phone how many people texted me, what about later? We'll wait till 1:30. My hope is that it's not a season-ending thing. My hope and kind of just trying to think of, absorb everything I'm hearing. I'm hoping it's a ankle sprain, which the problem with that is, okay, and I think that's what it is. It's an ankle. It is an ankle. But the issue is you just, as Mike Elko sits there today, he's not going to know whether it's 2 weeks. Like with Scooby Williams missed 2 games with an ankle injury, right? Or did he? He missed 3.
He got hurt in the
Notre Dame, so he missed 3 games. So is it 3 games? Is it, Chase Besantis missed, I want to say 5 games, and I think he had that procedure that Tua had to speed it up, and he missed 5 games, came back, I think, against Auburn. So you just don't know with an ankle. So I think Elko will give us a better understanding of whether that's looking more like a, hey, we'll see how this week goes ankle, or if it is a, we'll be without him for a few weeks, but hope to get him back soon type ankle. So we'll see. Somebody said, well, that's what ruined our season last year. Now, I would not disagree because I think they would have beaten Auburn and even potentially South Carolina with a healthy Moss. Although on that night, South Carolina seemed like the better football team, but damn, it would have been a lot different with him in the contest. Now, with that said, you didn't have Ruben Owens last year. And I felt like Ruben didn't have a great game Saturday against Florida, but he had 51 yards on 16 carries or so. He was running tough.
Yeah.
And even though he wasn't getting a lot of yards, he was getting a couple on first down every time, couple 3 yards. He's a week removed from 142 141-yard game against an SEC defense. And you've got Amari Daniels, who you had last year. E.J. Smith is a significantly improved back, but more importantly, the guy I want to see the most of, if there's more carries to be had, might be 23.
Yeah.
Jamari and Morrow. I think between Morrow, Owens, Daniels, and EJ, if they need to for a week or two, that group can certainly hold it down. It's a much better option than they had a year ago. With that said, I would love to get some positive news on Moss today, because I think he just deserves it. The kind of player he is, the kind of teammate he is, and how damn good he is, and how unlucky he's been with injuries. But yeah, 23 is a game breaker, and I'm telling you, the more opportunities he gets, and somebody made the comparison of him to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, former LSU star on their national championship team. I can see it. I can see the explosive ability. He's a pass catcher. He's pretty special, and that's the good news. The other side part is we haven't had to see too much of him this year because of the backfield depth that you finally have. But man, he came up with a huge catch on Saturday night, didn't he?
Well, Billy, one of the things I wanted to talk about, because that running game was a big part of the storyline and why they won the game, because when they had to, what do all these games have in common? A couple things in the fourth quarter. They have dictated everything, defensively and offensively. In this game, it was the drive that sealed it, right? You get it midfield after Napier, for some reason, goes for it on 4th and 6, and you eat 8 minutes, and that included lots of runs. And then what did your defense do? It just got after DJ Lagway. All the fourth quarters have felt similar.
They have, really.
In the SEC play.
I would hate to be a Florida fan right now to deal with Napier's nonsense. That timeout he called against Texas, that decision to go for it on 4th down, and it just, people were like, why do you run it there? It was like, was it 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 9 or whatever, and he ran it.
Because he knew he was going for it on 4th.
Yeah, but when you don't gain anything, then you punt it.
Right.
Like, you run that ball because, hey, it's 3rd and 8. We got a favorable look on this defense to run it, and we're going to pick up 5 and be in a 4th and 3. When you don't do anything, you end up 4th and 2. I mean, 4th and 8 or 6 at 6. You punt it. From that part of the field, in that game, with the way until that point, the score in the second half was 3-3. Your defense is playing well. A&M's banged up on offense. You see these receivers coming in and out. Your 2 best players. They're without their 3rd best player on offense. He's hurt. A&M's going pretty conservative as a result. They're playing with a slight lead. You punt the ball to those guys.
Yeah.
And then you get it hopefully right back where you just were. And you get it back with less time. So if you go score, you could also make the decision, hey, we're going to go for 2 and win this thing here. It was timing up nicely, actually, for Florida if their defense could keep it up. Instead, you give them the ball where they did, and they're right near midfield, and then it's game over after that drive. But you gave them the chance to end the football game. And even if you didn't get it and A&M went 3 and out and punted you down inside your 10, again, because of how the game was going, what would make you think that your offense was going to go down 90 yards to score?
Right.
You needed that short field, so you needed to punt it, get a stop with your better unit, which was your defense, and get the ball back. So, terrible decision by him. I'd like to see A&M's fourth quarter dominance in these 3 games. Because what? Florida, 0 points. Mississippi State, I think they scored 7 in their touchdown came in the 4th, right? It wasn't the 3rd. Here it is right here, I'll tell you. Their touchdown was
it was
they scored in the 4th. So 6 points. They messed up the extra point. 0, 6, and 0. Auburn did score. See, they had the 2-yard play. 0, 6, and 7 in the fourth quarter. And that 7.
That touchdown was because it was basically a pick 6.
Yeah, the 7 was a 2-yard drive. They haven't really given up anything in the fourth quarter in 3 games, and I'd really like to see the yardage and stats. I don't know what kind of deep dive we did on Lagway. Did you know what his stats were after one quarter? He was 10 of 12 for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. I don't know if you know. I know you know math, but I'm going to do it for you here. Maybe it'll be fast. Maybe it'll be slow. That's on pace to be 40 of 48.
That's pretty good.
Through the air for 480 yards and 8 touchdowns. Obviously, he was on a,
he was on a heater.
Transcendent level pace. But it goes to just tell you how hot he was in that first quarter. You know what he was after that first quarter? Touchdown in the first 12 minutes, 11 minutes, 2. Last, 49 minutes, 0. Yards in the first 11 minutes.
140 something?
120.
Okay.
Yards in the last 49 minutes.
79.
125.
Oh, okay.
So he had more in the first 11 than he did in the final 49. Okay. 10 of 22 to start the game. I think he finished 11 of. What did he finish the game? Do you have it in front of you?
He finished the game with 21 of 37, 245, 2 touchdowns.
21 of 37?
Yep.
So he was 10 of 12 and then went 11 of 25 to end the game. So they completely shut down Lagway. They humiliated that Florida offensive line. And the defense is playing for 3 games. And the stats bear it out in these crazy ones like
Nick
we
just
saw.
said 30-16 fourth quarter dominance in SEC play. The A&M has outscored their opponents.
And again, and that's a great stat, but that doesn't speak to the dominance really. Like you start digging into the stats because 7 of those 16 points,
2-yard drive.
They're 2 yards worth of stats. I think if you look at the stats in the last 3 games, I mean, it is an absolute chokehold. Teams have had in 3 fourth quarters, there's been one quality drive against this defense. And it was a 2-play, I think it was 2 plays. It was a 2-play touchdown drive. It was really a play that happened. It was really the connection from, God, now I've already forgotten his name, Mississippi Shapin to Brennan Thompson for that long touchdown. That was it. That's the only. It's not even a drive. It was a play.
Well, and they've also outrushed this past week in Florida, 183-74. And how does Florida beat you?
Mm-hmm.
Jaden Ball gets them going.
Yeah, yeah. And unlike Mississippi or Auburn, who only ran their tailbacks 8 times, Florida gave it to them. They gave it to them 16 times.
18 times, 65 carries. Daniels, who was pretty good for them, by the way, 3 carries for 28 yards.
Florida's a talented team, man. They showed that early. You know, you can forget. There's a time where A&M fans, and I don't blame them. I was in the boat too, were clamoring for like J. Michael Sturdivant because he's a Texas kid. He went out to Cal, balled out. It was Cal. I think it was Cal, then UCLA even, and now he's at Florida. There was a time people were clamoring for him, and he made a catch the other day. And I hear his name. I'm like, sometimes you even, and we knew it talking about them during the week, but you're like. We're talking so much about Dallas Wilson. Eugene Wilson's a good player. Florida's got dudes.
They do.
You mentioned Ball. I'm telling you, their offensive line, it's right there with Notre Dame's as far as like you see them physically, how impressive they were. Big old dudes, but they're not athletic enough. I'd like to ask the McKinneys about that too, because they got whipped up on it. And you know what?
And they held every play.
Oh my God.
Oh my.
Cassius had, that was and
they wouldn't call it.
They were not calling holding, which is so odd to me.
You see the shirt being pulled.
With the amount of the officials are just so inconsistent. It's just tough to tell. But and one thing we didn't talk about, and you need to because we cry about it every week when they don't. They didn't commit penalties this week. The Aggies with just 3. So
and one of those was on design.
Which one? I'm forgetting that.
The
delay game.
Yeah, delay of game.
Yep.
So
that's true. So 2 flagged for 2 penalties that they didn't want. Did I see that right last night? It was funny. Was it Dan and Andy Reid is a real interesting coaching matchup, and the Chiefs got the best of it last night. Due in part because I thought the best play the Lions got called back. Did you see that? It was a great. So they're on the goal line, and it's like 4th and goal from the 1, and Goff is in shotgun, comes up, goes in motion to the left.
Yeah.
Snap it directly to the running back, who right-handed running back turns and throws it to Goff as basically a bubble screen. And the receiver, it's a one-on-one on that whole side of the field, him and the DB. So all he's got to do is block the DB, and Goff gets in and scores. He gets called back from I think it was illegal motion or whatever, but whatever it was. But anyway, watching those two go at it is great theater, and it's great for like a football nut. And I think there was a play there where there was a questionable catch by Kelsey. Like, did he catch it? Did he not catch it? It was going to be one of those control things. He caught it in the ball, like Dan basically wanted them to review it. It was an important first down catch, and tried to go off sides to get the clock stopped, and they declined the penalty.
Set a break. We'll come back with more. Right now, if you're looking for peace of mind when it comes to your money, check out Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. You've got no sales pitches, no commissions, just honest financial planning and investment management. And what really sets them apart is the over 9 CFPs, the CFA, the CPA, all on staff. These folks take their credentials seriously, and they work tirelessly to help you build a future that you can feel great about. Go to paragon-adv.com or give them a call, 979-693-3907. That's 979-693-3907 to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors. Integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. Our favorite director, producer, Nick Savage, with some good work there. He tells us you wanted some fourth quarter numbers. Here they are. Against Auburn in the fourth quarter, 1 tackle for loss, -8 rushing yards, 9 passing yards. Against Mississippi State, 85 total yards, 9 rushes for 76, and a fumble. Versus Florida, 61 total yards, 2 rushing yards, 59 passing yards, and a fumble. That's what teams have done in SEC play against Texas A&M in the fourth quarter.
Nick, can I get those stats sent via text? It sounds like something really good to include in the defense in review this week. Good work, Nick. Good job.
Very good work.
Made up for the microphone.
Dave and Edmund, who first off apparently is getting surgery tomorrow, so good luck with that prayers. Yep. But he sent at least 3 times because he loves to be right about stuff and he wants the people to know it. Your thoughts on Brent Venables and if he's going to make it through the end of the year?
Yeah, I think he will because I think there was enough hope and optimism coming into this year. What are Brent Venables' season records there? This is his 4th year. I think they're going to come out of this season feeling good about one of the 4 seasons, honestly. And that's not good enough in Norman. But it's also, I'm speculating because I think OU is going to play in a lot of close games. What are
6 and 7 year 1,
disaster.
10 and 3 year 2.
Good year, not in the SEC.
6 and 7 year 3.
SEC.
And now he's 5-1 with.
This is going to derail
the show.
Is he bringing Gaviotis? Oh, there he is.
And
we
then
got a special guest from Wyoming here visiting.
We should talk about your trip.
I'm Mr. Wyoming, but he actually may or may not know a little more than me. So he's lived there for how many years?
45 years.
He might know a little more than me for now. Maybe by my second trip to Yellowstone, I'll pass him, but not yet.
And Oklahoma, the rest of their schedule.
Yeah.
South Carolina this weekend. That's an 11:45 game. They host Ole Miss the week after. They have on the road at Tennessee, on the road to Alabama. They host Missouri, and then they host LSU.
So I'm looking at their last 6 games, and
there's one win maybe in that too.
No, come on. I think 5 of those 6 are toss-ups. And like at South Carolina is not a loss.
I think that's a win. I think,
but it's not a win. It's also not a win.
No, it's not a guaranteed win. But that's the one I feel good about.
LSU at home is not a loss. I think being fair, there's 5 toss-ups and a loss, and typically if you're going to go with 5 toss-ups, you're probably going to go 3-2 or 2-3.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 loss, 3-2, and that's a 4-loss Sooner team. 2-3, that's a 5-loss team. He's 6-7 in year 1 in the SEC, 6-7 in his first season. I think people in Norman don't give a damn about 10-3 in the Big 12 2 years after the fact. He won't get fired. But
at 8-4, he won't get fired?
I don't believe so. No.
7-5?
No, I don't think. I think they'll hold on to him because they think they've figured something out there, hiring Nagy to be the GM. It's interesting, though. I think he's on a different contract than Venables. So, in other words, if they fired Venables, he's still going to be there as a GM. He'll probably be very active in the hiring of a new coach, which is welcome to 2025 college football. It's a very weird setup when you've got that type dynamic in a building. It feels very professional. Everything else about college sports is professional now too, so why not? But I think he would just go on the hot seat. I think the SEC coaches on the firing line are Napier, Freeze. So A&M's had a big role in both of those. Obviously, Pittman's already been fired, and I think Mark Stoops. I think that's about. Am I missing anyone? I mean, obviously you're doing a lot of what if, right? With OU, I think they could still go like 9-3. I'm not expecting it, but those are the 2. I mean the 3: Napier, Freeze, and Stoops, which would be massive. If you had that with Pittman, and 4 SEC coaches get fired in 1 year, that's a quarter of the league.
And then who gets poached? Does Clark Lee get poached?
Yeah, I mean, I'd poach him if I could.
Does Lane Kiffin leave the conference?
Or does he go to Florida?
So,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting. Today, more people that are listening to us are worried about if Mike Elko gets poached, which I don't see happening, but that's going to be a point of conversation just because of Penn State, and they're already doing it. You know, we've seen this coming in the last couple. I never would have thought Franklin would get fired.
I didn't either.
But when he lost to UCLA and people started going, what if he got fired? I think one of our buddies here in this room who is panicking, Polly, first had the thought when they lost in overtime to Oregon. I don't think James Franklin should have been fired. I think that is, I know Pate called it insane.
They were just in the play.
And I don't care that they were ranked high a few weeks ago because that has nothing to do with this year. That's just based on preseason when you don't play. They were in the playoffs in an overtime. They were in OT to go to the national championship game.
Yeah.
They played in the Big Ten title game. For that to fall apart to the point that they're going to fire him, and I don't know if it was Pate or somebody else, but I liked what they said, is like sometimes you're going to have to, early in the season, realize, man, this is just going to be a really bad year. The question is, has your coach proven enough to stay? So, like, if Texas and Sark had lost to OU and looked like they were going to go like 7-5, you would just have to say, this is a bad year, but we're not thinking of firing this guy because we've been to the last 2 playoffs. Problem with Penn State is I think their people fell for that whole thing about he has never won a big game, he'll never win a big game, and they believed what the rest of the country. It's factual that he hasn't. It wasn't factual that he never will. And the rest of the country started to believe their fan base and donors started to believe what was out there themselves. So I think the thought process was, we've peaked. He's not getting this back. Losing to Northwestern at home, inexcusable. I get that. I'm just like, man, I'm going to be really interested to follow that Penn State hire.
Well, we're way late for a break, but I'll say this: other names to consider. I'm not saying this is on their list, but would they consider Brian Kelly? Would they consider Drink?
Drink would be a really interesting one. I think obviously Brian Kelly, I still think is looking to get out of LSU. LSU is a top elite job. But if you can go get another elite job that you think fits your life better and your career better, then you'll do that if possible, especially when I think the folks in Baton Rouge wouldn't necessarily be crying if he left. So that is something to at least watch. And then, obviously Matt Rule, having coached there under Paterno, played there, right? And coached up there in the Northeast at Temple. Like, that's the most natural fit, but he's so early in Nebraska. Can you hire him away? It is interesting, and I don't know, nobody ever admits to these kind of things, but I do think there was interest there when this job came open a couple of years ago from Rule. He had only been at Nebraska for 1 year. That's just, I can't sit here and factually say that, but that was through the agent circles that there was real interest there. So I don't think Rule would have left Nebraska after 1 year. I don't think, but I do think when it's Penn State, and now you've been there 3 seasons, I do think that would be probably the most watchable one. But yeah, like Clark Lee, Drink. If you're going to move on from Franklin, you better hire someone that's really going to rev up and fire up that fan base too.
And I wonder where Franklin ends up. Is it Arkansas?
Would be really interesting.
I don't want to see that.
I don't care. Here's the deal. Here's why I say that. Arkansas is just like any other SEC job now for the Aggies. Like, you don't worry about, like, when it was the West and you had to play them every single year and other teams didn't. Yeah, I don't want Arkansas to become the next Ole Miss. And then you got to play Ole Miss and Kiffin and Arkansas with their version of Kiffin.
Sure, I get that.
Bama and LSU, right? Now, it's just any team in the SEC, Arkansas is no different. You're going to play them twice every 4 years. You're going to play them at home and away once every 4 years. So they're no different than if James Franklin ended up at South Carolina. It just has no different effect on A&M. In fact, if Franklin went to Arkansas and made them better, the team that would have more of a gripe about it would actually be Texas, because they do play them every year.
Yep.
For now.
So to break. If your organization or business is looking for an opportunity to engage with Aggies, you need to check out the Association of Former Students who bring Aggies of all ages together during their awesome marquee events held throughout the year. We're talking about the fun ones like Aggie Ring Day, all Aggie Hullabaloo in the Gathering. They all welcome tens of thousands of guests, and there are many sponsorship and vendor opportunities to get your brand in front of those attendees, and they offer a wide variety of both digital and in-person options to promote your brand. There's also advertising opportunities in both the Texas Aggie Magazine and the Aggie News newsletter, which are seen by over 230,000 people. So if your business is ready to engage with Aggies, check out the organization that's been supporting the Aggie Network for over 140 years. For more information on options available to get your brand in front of these people, what you need to do is email sponsorships@aggienetwork.com. That is sponsorship@aggienetwork.com. And we are back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Billy, when you look at this SEC team, and we've talked a lot about Alabama, but just in general, when you look at these teams, who do you feel like you actually know who they are? Like when you look at these teams, like, you know what, I think this team is legit good. Like you don't believe in Bama, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't believe in Tennessee, correct?
No.
You don't believe in Georgia?
I don't not believe in Bama. I'm just not.
You're not sold on
it. You can't force feed to me that they're the best team in the SEC right now. I actually do believe in them as a playoff team. I think they'll lose another one. I don't think they'll drop two more. They might. They still got to play what? Tennessee, LSU, Auburn,
and Oklahoma, right?
And OU. I mean, in South Carolina. Yeah, I don't think they'll lose two of those. I do think they'll lose one.
Yeah.
I think they're a playoff team. I'm just not sold on you insisting to me, not you, but like insisting to me that they're the best team in the SEC. And no, I'm not sold on Tennessee. I'm not sold on Ole Miss.
But is Ole Miss a playoff team?
I don't know because I just watched them barely beat
Washington
State.
Yeah.
So my thought of they haven't played enough. Like, let's look at their resume, and you tell me, like, what have you seen from them?
They put up their schedule for us.
That tells you and me that they're going to go 10-2 or better and be in the playoffs. I'm not talking about looking at the rest of the schedule, right?
So far,
block that off. So what have you seen there? I mean,
they beat Arkansas.
They beat Arkansas
by 6.
Well, and here's the thing: if you watch that game, Arkansas was going in to beat them. Arkansas had the ball driving, I think, inside their 20 or around the 20 to win that football game, and they fumbled. And it was on a play that I think was going to result in a first down.
They beat LSU.
They beat LSU at home barely. And the Tulane win, it was impressive in how it happened, but it's still, you've played Tulane, you've played Washington State, you've played Kentucky, you've played Murray State. You'll
feel different if they win these next two, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And they'll have a shot to. When you look at what they've done versus what A&M's done, for example, who's more proven?
A&M.
A&M wins at Notre Dame, and they beat Florida, Mississippi State, and Auburn versus that.
Yeah.
Take A&M's top 4 versus their top 4 accomplishments. Their top 4 accomplishments right now would include beating Tulane and beating Washington State. Yeah, but I'm saying if you went and listed their top 4, you're having to go down to Tulane and Washington State. So, no, nothing. Their top 2 are beating LSU and Arkansas. And by the way, you better respect what A&M's walking into this weekend with Arkansas, because Bobby Petrino has a dynamic quarterback that is really dangerous. He's got an outstanding receiver, good O-line, and a couple running backs. They will score. They will move the ball. They've done it on everyone except Notre Dame, and that one just really got away from them.
They actually were up to start.
Yeah, but it was 13. They were down
13-10, 13 something.
But they were their offense they scored 1 touchdown in the game, and they got blown. It was over by halftime. But outside of that, this offense has been really good. And they almost beat Ole Miss, and they almost beat Tennessee. So while I do think Texas A&M is better than those two football teams, you're going on the road, and they gave. Did you watch the Tennessee game?
A little bit of it, yeah.
Tennessee handled that game like you'd have wanted to see A&M handle it up in Fayetteville until they didn't. They pulled away. They had separation there. Arkansas had a late rally to make it really close there. Tennessee couldn't completely put them away. They played with their food like the Aggies did against Auburn, and you didn't completely put them away. So it's a game that the Aggies should win, need to win, but it is so far from a guaranteed victory to walk into that place in Petrino's first game back and go against Talon Green in that offense.
Yeah.
But you know what? again, if I'm going into that battle, I'm taking, like if I'm going to have to go face a really explosive offense with a dangerous quarterback, I want to go into it with this defense and this defensive coordinator.
We'll come back with a very short final segment. It's TexAgs Live. Final 3 minutes of the program, TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. We go back to the Angry Elephant News and Social Censor. I'm sure we got a thought or two to share with Billy.
In Tennessee, he said, I think Marcel is a winner and I trust him to keep doing that. There was a stat on College Game Day that said he was the second worst in college football in off-target throws at almost 20%. Do you think after 6 games, 6 games through the season, he's a finished product in the passing game?
No.
Or is there still room for improvement?
There's room for improvement, and I know that Nick Saban on at least 2 or 3 weeks in a row on Game Day has spoken very highly about Marcel Reed being a winner and a good quarterback, and I'll take his analysis.
I liked what Marcel said after this game. It's what I've always said. You get it peek into his mind. Like, it's not always going to just come easy and be laid out with wide open receivers and playing with a 2-score lead. And it's just not. And that's a sign of a mature quarterback that goes into games understanding that you're not fazed by it, and we talk about accuracy down the field, and, You know, he missed one to Concepcion. That would have been probably a 75-yard touchdown. But guess what? He hit the one on the first play of the game, first snap of the game for the Aggies that I think completely changed the feel and dynamic of those early portions of the game. When Florida had it going offensively, Marcel in that one throw said, hey, so do we. We came to play too. And I think it lifted up the defense. It made that Kyle Field crowd explode that was kind of sitting on a lot of nervous energy after that Florida drive. He doesn't have to hit every one of those throws. He just has to do what he's been doing, man. And by the way, that's a great play and throw. The first play of the game was a great play and throw. A couple of those to Burkature were great plays and throws. And Marcel he made one mistake in that one. I'm not saying everything else was perfect, but he made one mistake in that one that I guarantee you he wishes he had back. Yeah. He should have never thrown that ball, and he usually doesn't. He usually doesn't make that. So, look, I think Marcel's playing great football. He's playing great football with room to improve. Yep. And I think he knows that. I think the coaches will probably make that clear to him every week. But you also, like, if you're someone following it, if you don't think he's playing, like, great football with room to improve, I think you're seeing it wrong. And I think, like you said, Nick Saban's noticing it. Why wouldn't one of our own fans? I mean, again, room to improve, yes. Improving, yes. That's the beauty of this thing because they're doing all that and they're 6-0 with a really explosive offense and productive quarterback.
That'll do. See you mañana.
All right.